Thank you all for being here today and covering our football team and our football program and our great university. It's been such an unbelievable week for us in the city of Houston, and a lot of many thanks to all the folks, the great hospitality. We've got a number of kids from Texas on our roster and from the greater Houston area, and it's great for them to be home. And for us continuing to build our program, the recruiting emphasis in the state of Texas will be a large part of our footprint moving forward. So for many reasons, it was great to be in the city of Houston and in Texas. The bowl game, you really look at the Academy Sports and Outdoors Bowl on all the different things that they have provided for our team and the experiences that they've provided this week for all of our young men and the entire travel party. So grateful and thankful for them. I know it's a 365-day job for that organization, and for them to put on the work and the tireless hours and all the work that they put into it for our kids and our student athletes to have an experience that they will carry with them for the rest of their life. I'm forever grateful for all the work that they put into it. The volunteers that over the Christmas holiday and the holiday season that they were away from their families to help make this the experience that it's been. So thankful for that, and congratulations to Coach Herman and his staff and team on being here. Tremendous opportunity and challenge for our football team to match up against a really good football team, very well coached. As you start looking at the video when we did after the announcement, should be a great game tomorrow night. We're locked in as a football team and program in our small world. It's Friday around 11:30, so we'll get locked into that. We'll have a walkthrough. We'll have position meetings as soon as the luncheon's over. Get to go to the stadium and have a chance to do a walkthrough there, which will be great for our guys. And then we're into a normal Friday night routine for us. I'm proud of our football team, my staff, and the group of guys, 18 seniors that we've got. I'm going to address some of the same things in here as I do next door. So if you go to the luncheon, you'll be bored with my comments. But I believe with great conviction that I've got the best job in the world. And the reason I have that is because of my team and my football players and the student athletes that we've got. I'm thankful for their efforts and all the things that they've done. We've learned a number of great life lessons this year together, and they've shown great resolve. They've worked together, tremendous effort on holding together when things weren't great and fighting through adversity and continuing to build our football program the way it needs to be built. I'm thankful for the things that they've done. And now we've got an opportunity to go play one more game together, and that means the world to me, and it means an awful lot to 115 guys that we got that make up our university and the athletic program, representing all the things that this football team has done. We're excited about it. So open it up to questions. And again, thank you all for being here and all the coverage you've provided for our football team and this bowl game specifically.
Barry, kind of a two-part question for you. First, obviously, longer way travel to the venue than Texas, obviously, but does this still kind of feel like a neutral site game to you? And then in addition to that, how does that affect maybe your outlook on Mizzou playing Texas, a former Big 12 opponent?
Well, if you've covered our team and the local reporters that are here know that I'm not real good with two-part questions, so I may have to ask you to repeat some of that. But I know well enough on where we are geographically, on how many people are going to be in the stands and what colors they're going to be wearing. We've talked about that. One thing with our program and our team and this group of guys, and every team's different, but we deal with each other because we've built such true and trusting relationships. We deal in fact and in honesty. And we know where the game is. We're excited to have that opportunity to step into this environment. One of the greatest environments and to play the game of football. You look, I was at the stadium yesterday watching the Texans play, and what an unbelievable environment it'll be for our kids. And we've got to the point over the course of the year that it didn't matter if we were home, away, playing in the parking lot, our guys were ready to go compete and go play. And, we had a press conference or on with a radio show before the Texans game yesterday, Coach Herman and I. And, as I watched the fans interacting with us on the stage. There weren't many waving at me. There were a whole bunch waving at him. So we'll take it for what it is. We'll embrace the opportunity to go play a really good team in this environment. Did I hit all questions on that, the two-part question? Okay.
And Coach, over here on your right, have you decided who's going to be calling offensive plays for you, and how does that change the performance on the field with Locke getting the calls into his headset and then relaying them to your offense?
Well, on the plays that work, if we happen to have success offensively, then I called those, okay? I made those play calls. In the college game, you can't relay. We don't have, the players don't wear headsets or microphones. So we signal all of our plays in. Our offensive staff has done a tremendous job on continuing to build on what they did during the season. Nothing has really changed as far as the approach on what we've taken on putting our kids in position to be successful. And that's any time that you go into a game plan, you take the personnel that you've got to be a tremendous teacher, and then you put in play what you think will put your guys in position to be successful. So the offensive staff has continued to roll on moving in the right direction. Coach Finley, who was brought up in this system, will make the play calls tomorrow, and he has for the last couple of weeks in practice. And they've done, credit to them, they've done a heck of a job on stepping up, and everybody's got a little more on their plate when you have coaching departures. That's the name of the game. So I wouldn't say that we really see any noticeable change in what we're doing offensively as far as the play calls go.
Coach, what did you specifically change after your 1-5 start? I'm sure half the coaches in the country want to know.
I'm going to sell it for what we changed. I'm going to sell it for $19.99, and if you call now, you can get buy one, get one free. So we'll see how that goes in the off season. Really, we didn't change much. We got a really good group of kids that were bought in together, that cared about each other, that knew that we were doing a lot of things in our program the right way. We were getting so close to breaking down the wall. We just weren't playing really good on Saturdays, and the things that they continue to do, their practice habits were exactly the way we needed them to be. Their preparation was getting close to what it needed to be to put us in position to play successful. And then we started to gain some confidence, even though we were coming up short at the end of 4 quarters. We weren't scoring enough, and we weren't holding to less points than we needed to. So we were gaining some confidence. And like I've said earlier, I wouldn't recommend starting 1-5. That wasn't really good on anybody. But our guys did enough. They believed and they trusted in the process and in each other to hold together. And then we were able to execute a little bit better on the game field.
Did you really have a bonfire?
We did. It was big. Yep, it was large. And what's that?
What all was in the bonfire?
It's been well documented. There was a whole bunch of stuff, and I thought the players were going to throw me in there, so they had enough of it. Really, they drew a line in the sand, and they were ready to go win a game. And again, we had done so many really good things within our program. Nobody wants to hear it, but it's important about your class attendance, the way you work in the weight room, the way your locker room, the health of your locker room, all those things that add up to having a chance to win a game on Saturday. We were doing all those things. They were moving in the right direction. We just weren't winning football games. And at the end of the day, it's a results-driven business. I understand that. And our guys continued to battle and show great resolve and got it done together.
Barry, with all the guys that aren't playing for Texas, does it kind of make them a tougher scout when you're watching them on film and certain guys aren't going to be in the game? And kind of how do you...
I think, you read, there's an enormous amount of information out there that, I know this, they'll have 11 guys out there when we start the game, and so will we. You stick true to what you've seen on film. There's always in-game adjustments as you go through. You don't wait till halftime to make adjustments. You make them between series and a lot of times as the series is going on. So we feel like we've done a really good job game planning on who we think that they are. And there's all you look at a bowl game, in most of them you've got about 15 opportunities to go through and change some things either side of the ball. And we've made some slight adjustments like we do week to week, and I'm sure they've done the same thing.
Very specifically at quarterback, Colin said both these guys are going to play. What do you see
Now there are similarities, and I've anybody that's playing multiple quarterbacks, you've got to prepare obviously to see both of them, and I think we will. That's happened throughout the course of this season in our conference that we've seen some of that. You also know that your calls don't vary too much. You just got to be aware on how you call it with which quarterback's in. They're both great competitors, and as I watch their from start to finish on their season, they've improved throughout the course of the year, and they're both really good players.
Coach, what did you see in bowl practices that excites you about your defensive line heading into this game?
Well, this specifically with our defensive line, but overall our football team, we had 14 really good practices. I mean, the guys were eager to get out on the field. They enjoy the opportunity to get better and compete, and they understand the process of what it takes to go play a complete game. And we didn't waste an opportunity. I was happy on really every day we made progress. We made progress of our vets that have been in the program as far as game planning and executing the game plan out throughout practice. And then when we set aside time to put in our younger guys and get some developmental work for our program, they approached that the right way. We've got a pretty mature football team, and they did a lot of really good things over the last 3.5 weeks.
Coach, what are some examples of what makes Drew Lock?
Well, I think you look at his approach to the game, his study and desire to be a great quarterback. He's got a tremendous football IQ. He understands what we're trying to do offensively. He's got a good grasp on when we get a certain coverage on where we need to go with the football, or does he check the play and get us into a run option that will help us a little bit more. So all those things have to do with, number one, he's a tremendous competitor. He wants to be great, and there's not anybody in our building that has outworked him in his preparation on trying to lead this football program to wins.
We have time for one more for Coach, and then we'll get to some student athletes.
Barry, I've seen a lot of national people, in doing their bowl matchups, they look at this game and they seem to be sort of dismissive about y'all's winning streak because of who you beat and how those teams ended up. I'm sure you've seen some of that talk too. Does that get under y'all's skin a little bit? And in terms of winning the games in the SEC seems legitimate to me, but does that bother John?
If you read a lot that's been out there this year, and you could let your mind go a number of different ways. For us, we focused on trying to go 1-0 one more time, and it doesn't matter, like I said earlier, where we're playing, who we're playing. Our focus is on us, on making sure we do all the things and the steps necessary to get into the competitive environment and then go play our best game. So we've taken this team serves it pretty well just to look at it one game at a time. If you're worried about what we did 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, then that has no effect on how we're going to play on Wednesday night. And same thing for us, looking ahead, it does us no good. So we've got plenty of motivation. We've got internal motivation for us to do it for 18 seniors, to finish the season the right way, to go 1-0 one more time. And I wouldn't want to be lined up with another team in America trying to go get that done.